Tonight, a KMPH Fox exclusive, a product safety story that could be the forerunner of a recall, one that begins right here in Fresno. Now, we were approached by a KMPH viewer who gave us this fuel pump that you see behind me. He said it was taken out of a Ford Aerostar, but he doesn't want to be identified. However, a Ford mechanic gave him a very stern warning.
Get it out of there. Get it out of there now. Call everybody up and get those fuel pumps on the outside of the gas tanks. Change them out and do whatever you have to. People's lives are more important than this kind of stuff.
Here's what Steve Landers is talking about. The top of this Ford fuel pump appears to have overheated and melted through the other side, causing potential danger. Mechanics we spoke with say the worst could have happened.
Well, if the fuel pump melts down, as long as it's out of gas, if it shorts out, the fumes and the combustion could explode it.
For that reason alone, 2 months ago, the pump was taken out of the fuel tank of an Aerostar at Century Ford. Neither the dealership nor the driver of that van would speak to us on camera. But the driver told us a Ford mechanic remarked, if you didn't have a full tank of gas, this might have blown up. This is the actual fuel pump that was taken out of a 94 Aerostar at Century Ford here in Fresno. Now, everything from here on down sits inside the fuel tank, pumping fuel out of the tank to the engine. But it does so electronically. That's why you see these 3 wires hanging in this position. An explosion is a matter of physics. 3 main elements that could cause a tank to explode: fuel, oxygen, and heat. Fuel and oxygen are both in the tank, and heat could come from the fuel pump melting through the plastic connector. And that's your formula for fire.
If I have to change it, see this like this, I know I'll be kind of scared. I'll send it to Ford dealership and have it checked out.
Mechanics we spoke with say they've never seen a pump destroyed this severely by heat. Off camera, a Ford service mechanic said about the electric pump, dirt and gas residue build up on the connection. Now, this can cause corrosion and resistance. Resistance is heat making the plastic connector melt, but it's not an explosion problem. It's very low voltage and the gas tank is sealed. So then we called a spokesman at the Ford Motor Company in Detroit, who says, we are not aware of the problem if it exists. Normally, recalls happen right after a new model comes out, not this far into manufacturing. Still, we weren't satisfied, and we asked yet another Ford employee. A chief engineer told us, we've never heard or seen anything remotely close to what you've described. But we'd like to have the pump that you have for our own investigation.
Who would put this in a gas tank? I wouldn't put this in a gas tank. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that you don't put electricity in a gas tank.
In the last 11 years, Ford Motor Company has produced nearly 2 million Aerostar vans. And from 1989 to 94, Ford installed the very same fuel pumps that overheat in all their Aerostars. Ford dealerships up and down the valley confirm melted connectors on the pumps are common. Now, the big question tonight, have any of these Aerostars blown up as a result of a faulty fuel pump? We don't know. We can't answer that question. By the way, Ford Motor Company in Detroit wanted to see that fuel pump, and we hand-delivered it to Century Ford right here in Fresno, which in turn was going to send it to Ford Motor Company for evaluation. We'll update you on this story if and when the Ford Motor Company responds. Tiffany, back to you.